has it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to DSM Pregame Live, streaming to you exclusively on the DSM Media YouTube channel. Guys, if you're new to DSM, check us out on Twitter at DSM_media. Hit that follow button. We greatly appreciate it. And while you're on the page, check out the link tree in our bio to take you to every platform we are available on, specifically for all the pregame shows that we do here, Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles. Check us out at DSM Media on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, turn on notifications. I am one half of your host here, Dylan Davis. You can find me on Twitter at DylanJD98. To my left, my co-host Scotty. You can find him as well at Scotty Drown. My man, how are we? Philadelphia 76ers, Houston Rockets preview. Sixers looking to bounce back after 2 straight losses, but they do get some help tonight, Scotty. The beard is available to play. James Harden is officially back. Obviously, Joel Embiid has been back for about a week or so, so they're starting to get a little healthier. Obviously, they're minus George Niang tonight. They're still minus Tyrese Maxey, but the Sixers are getting healthier. How are you feeling about this one tonight?
I'm feeling good. If you guys caught the show on Friday, I think it was before the Memphis game, I actually had that one as a loss, so I was kind of looking at this game as the light at the end of the tunnel and kind of having Harden return and the reinforcements arrive. Obviously, we have Maxey returning at a later date. But nonetheless, it's great to have Harden back. And I don't want that to go, undersaid or underappreciated having him back, because I know we had some minor success, right, with Shake Milton, D'Anthony Melton at the helm. But James Harden being back unlocks a completely different element of this offense. Those times where we've seen that stagnant offense for over long spread periods of time, I'm hoping that the James Harden addition or welcoming back cures that a little bit, right? So some of those stretches where we just go so long without a bucket, I'm hoping that James Harden can help with that, mixed with Shake Milton, increased role, him kind of figuring himself out, and so on and so forth. But welcome back, James Harden. I'm super happy. I just don't want that to go undersaid here. I'm super happy to have James Harden back, man. Oh my goodness.
No, it's a great point you bring up, because it is being understated right now in the Philadelphia sports landscape. Obviously, have my Phillies hoodie on. They make a splash first day of winter meetings. Trey Turner, welcome to Philadelphia. Can't wait to talk about that on a pod soon here on DSM. We just got done talking about our Eagles 11-1. And now it's like James Harden returning is way on the back page of the headlines today, right? And it shouldn't be understated. And as Abe says, we need Harden back. Glad he's back. So Scotty, I guess what I want to ask you or pose this question to you, is you bring up a very interesting point in that when the offense gets stagnant, when they go 3-4 minutes without a point, without a bucket. I remember when he first came over here from the Brooklyn Nets in that trade at the deadline last year, and it felt like that had gone away. Whenever you needed a bucket, James was getting you a bucket, right? Then he got injured and the playoffs didn't look so pretty. And we were all so excited for him to grow in this offense throughout the year, and that got put on a halt due to the injury. How can James Harden, Doc Rivers, this offense execute what you and I were talking about last week when it was all the role players and the offense was free flowing and sharing the basketball? How can they execute that type of style of offense, but with James Harden at the helm? Or do you not expect to see that really too much tonight?
No, I think you still have to spread the ball around, and it's something we're going to talk about later in this show, but we don't need to throw 120% of responsibility back on James Harden's shoulders immediately. That's part of the problem, right? That's part of the issue with him getting hurt. It has to be usage. So we got to calm down a little bit with the usage. That's with him and Embiid, and getting some more production out of the rest of these players. But the way I look at it with James Harden is you come in, you don't do too much, right? You don't have to do all the one-on-one to start. We start by spreading the ball around. You keep D'Anthony Melton, if he's in the starting lineup with James Harden tonight, you keep him involved. I think his life should get easier. Tobias Harris' life should get easier. Embiid's life should get easier. But you wait until you are to one of those stagnant points in the game, right? D'Anthony Melton just bricked a three. George Niang's out tonight, but George Niang breaks a three. Now you know the threes aren't falling. Right. D'Anthony Melton throws the ball. now it's time to run the James Harden pick and roll, right? Like now we need a bucket. It's time to run it. Obviously, you can run it at other points in the game, obviously, to get the ball in his hands, get him in position to make the plays that he can make. Because obviously, before the injury, he was averaging 10 assists per game. He obviously spreads the ball around. He knows how to do it. So I think just picking your spots wisely, I think that's the key here. Not taking everybody else out of rhythm, but maybe once they're out of rhythm, now it's your time to guide us back into rhythm by doing the things that should be easiest for us, which is that that pick and roll with James Harden and Embiid.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up because it was a point I was just going to get to in a second. But think about what we talk about daily with the Eagles. When things go and get tough, when it's a 3-4 point game in the fourth quarter, what do the Eagles do? They go back to their bread and butter. They run the ball. They'll run it down your throat. When the Sixers get stagnant, when the Sixers can't hit a shot, go back to your bread and butter. And Abe chiming in basically saying maybe not so much in the point category and all that, but playmaking, getting others involved. Getting those assist totals back up for this team is something they've lacked as well. And Phil, we opened with this, man. Harden being back is somehow the third biggest sports story here in Philadelphia. Not this week, today. Today alone is the third biggest story already here on a Monday.
Let me ask you a question about that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just because of the matchup, though? Like, do you think if maybe they were playing somebody better and he was returning,
I think it's a mix of a lot of things with the Sixers. I feel like the Sixers have a very weird, toxic relationship with us right now.
Yeah,
the matchup in Houston, we know that they should beat Houston, but will they? They have not played well in the last couple of days, getting smoked in back-to-back games. Undermanned, I get that, but still. So they're in a weird, toxic spot right now. It's a combination of everything.
They can't bring us up, but they can only take us down.
Right,
like, that's kind of where I'm at.
They bring us up for 3 games, and then they bring us all the way back down again. That's the toxicity I'm talking about. But you bring up the pick and roll, the 2-man game between Embiid and Harden, and I don't think we cracked into that potential. And I honestly, Scotty, I don't think it's the Sixers' bread and butter. And I think it needs to be something you can go and rely on late in a game to get you a bucket, right? I want to take you back to that Knicks game. Do you remember what I'm talking about? That Knicks game last year? No, last year. Harden's first game, Madison Square Garden, Saturday afternoon or Sunday. It was Saturday or Sunday at like noon or 1 p.m. or something.
I do remember. I remember the pass like, between his legs to Embiid for the dunk or something. Yeah, it was
Embiid
nasty.
had an injury scare, but the 2-man game was unstoppable. The pick and roll was unstoppable. That's the vision. That's the ideal look of this set between Harden and Embiid. And if I'm being honest, I don't know if I've seen it since prior to the playoffs of last year. And that's what I need them to start to implement into this offense. Because when things get stagnant and they need a bucket, you know what I see a lot of, Scotty? Harden getting the ball to Embiid, Embiid goes to work in ISO. Or Harden keeps the ball at the top of the key, Harden goes to work in ISO. There is not much of a pick and roll late in the game, and I think that should really play a big factor in this offense, man. But it's interesting. You brought it up to me pre-show. It's something we're going to talk about later on, but it shouldn't be a necessity tonight specifically when you're looking at this Houston Rockets team. This December 5th, Harden's first came back after a long injury and Embiid just getting back into conditioning and all that stuff. This should not have to be a 32 and 15 Joel night. This should not have to be a 28 and 10 James Harden night, right? What is the key to victory for you tonight against this Houston Rockets team on the road?
Man, it's almost like a track on repeat, right? Where it's just me saying the same thing with this Sixers team all the time, but it's play with energy. I mean, you're going against the Houston Rockets team, a young, youthful, energetic Houston Rockets team. They're going to want to get out, play fast. They're going to want to get out on the fast break. They're young, as I mentioned. Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, that backcourt. They like to get up and down, man. They spread the ball around. They like to shoot threes. It's a team that the Sixers should take care of, right? Without having, I see Abe's comment there, without needing a Joel Embiid 40-point night, without needing a James Harden 30-point night. Shouldn't need that. But you may very well end up with that being the case. Because I don't want us to sleep on the Rockets. I don't want us to sleep on the Rockets. You just said the key word.
Need on December 5th. Joel can drop 40. Joel can drop 35 tonight. But it should be a comfortable 35 to 40. If it's going to take a Joel 42 and 16 night to squeak by Houston, we're going to have the same conversation about the same problems with this team tomorrow. If he drops 40 plus and they win by 22, good job. Good work.
Yeah,
but December 5th, I don't need 38-minute, 40-point Joel Embiid to win by 3 tonight on the road. I'll tell you that right now. I won't even be happy about it tomorrow.
And honestly, it starts with the other guys, man. It starts with the other guys on this team, and they have to play with energy. They have to come out and fill the voids that we have on this team. If you want Embiid to score 40, that's fine. Then you guys go out here and grab some boards, get some steals, get out on the break, spread the ball around, get some assists, get other guys involved. Right. It relies on these other guys. They're the difference between us playing with James Harden, patting the rock, and Joel Embiid being a black hole in the paint, and them getting all the points. And us being able to play as a unit and blow teams out that we should blow out. Because it's going to start on the boards tonight, Dylan. That's where it's going to start. It's going to start with energy. And if these guys are crashing the boards and getting rebounds over Embiid, their guards are coming in and getting rebounds from our guards, then it's going to be a long night. They're going to get out on the break. It's going to be a long night. That's how a long night happens.
Listen, I agree with you. And again, you say another very good point here when you're looking at Joel giving you possibly a 30, 40-point night when you might not necessarily need it. How can the others play their role? Not just crashing the boards, not just getting Joel into looks, but hey guys, if you're hitting from the outside, you are making life easier for Joel. That is the vision that we want, right? We want 4 wide, 4 spread out, Joel on the post, because guess what? If he gets doubled, I need a Daniel House. I need a Tobias Harris. I need a James Harden 3 from the outside, from the perimeter, right? When those shots aren't falling, Scotty, guess what happens? Joel's got to do everything. So if you want to help him out, if you want to win comfortably tonight, the others have to play a role, because Joel's 40 ain't just going to do it tonight. Abe saying he's looking at Shake tonight. He's going to be given an opportunity to prove his worth with Harden coming back. I don't want to see him going back to the 10th shoulder, timid Shake. Timid is the perfect word for him in that role. Obviously, no Tyrese Maxey tonight. So Shake still will have a role. It'll be interesting. I'm assuming Melton will get the nod to start next.
I would assume. I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you this. So with that situation, doesn't it just seem logical that Shake comes in when Harden goes out? Like, doesn't that just seem logical to you?
Especially
like Shake, like they just seem interchangeable.
Yang offense coming off the bench tonight. I need Shake Milton's offense off the bench tonight.
Right. I'm just wondering if, even when Maxey gets back, maybe it's Shake that goes in for Harden, and it's whatever they end up mixing up. But I feel like Shake and Harden are the more comparable guards within these 4 guards that are on the team. And I feel like they're the more interchangeable. So, I'm with you, though, all the way on Abe's comment. What you said as well. Shake has to remain aggressive and confident, man. That's the Shake we need. Otherwise, he can't be on the court, and we don't want to get back to that, right?
No.
We saw some good stuff.
You made so much progress the last month or so of proving your worth, as Abe's saying, as showing us. As bad as the bench production was when everyone was healthy, it showed us a different side of those role players and said, hey, maybe when we get towards the postseason, we won't get crushed when Shake and Melton are on the floor together, or when Shake's in with Maxey, because we've seen him carry the load for a couple weeks stretch here. Don't go back to, like Abe's point, the timid, the shoulders up here, the pouty dog face, the passing up open looks. Because that's a problem within this offense. When the stars are on the floor, Scotty, I feel like these role players get so timid and passive because they have no faith that they're getting the ball back once it leaves their hands. And that's a problem within a half-court set. If I pass James the ball, I need to know I at least have the option to get the ball back. Or if I pass Joel the ball on the block and I create, if I move, if I set a screen for Tyrese to come around the corner, I need to know that the ball is going to swing or move, and not just, as you always say, get sucked into that black hole of a stagnant offense.
I think that's such a great point you're bringing up here. I think that's such a great point, because so much it gets talked about superstars trusting the rest of their team, right? Joel Embiid trusting his guys around him, James Harden trusting his guys around him, but it goes both ways.
Yes.
It can't just be tough moments in the game and Joel Embiid has to take a contested jump shot against 3 guys. Like, it just shouldn't feel like that both ways, right? And those guys should be able, like you said, to pass them the ball and also have the expectation that they might get the ball back for an open shot.
Because
I think that's a great
point, Dylan. What happens if you're Shake Milton? Just we're talking about Shake right now, specifically. So you're Shake Milton. You've had this run the last couple of weeks. You've helped put W's in the win column, right? In the absence of these guys, and they come back, they're healthy. And let's take tonight, for example. You come off the bench and you're looking to get yours. You're looking to help your team. And at halftime, I go in the box score, and Joel Embiid has 13 attempts, and James Harden has 9, and Tobias Harris has 11. Meanwhile, Shake's 1 for 2, and Melton's 0 for 1. That's the part I'm talking about. Now, maybe that's them being too passive. Maybe that's them passing the ball one time and never getting it back. And that's how the offense becomes even more stagnant. It's what you and I talked about when all these guys were unhealthy the last couple of weeks. If you can take the Sixers offensive set, the Sixers game plan, whatever they were doing offensively.
Like the idea of the Sixers offense without Embiid and Harden, and just put it with Embiid and Harden.
Yes. That's the vision. And what will they do that? And I think tonight's a nice little test to kind of see where their head's at. Because honestly, we like to talk matchups. We like to talk keys to victory on this pregame show. There's not much I really have to get into. You are a superior team.
Honestly,
Houston is inferior to you. You're on a 2-game, pretty brutal losing streak. You got your ass kicked in Cleveland. Doc had some choice words afterwards talking about it's a scheduled loss. You come back, you battle a little bit against Memphis, but ultimately you lose to Memphis. Joel has a rough third quarter on the boards.
Yep.
You got to win tonight, man. And like I said, I'm not going to be happy if Joel Embiid or James Harden have to carry the load in a 2-point win because they shouldn't have to.
Last second shot. You know what I mean? It should not be that way if you are the team that you are expected to be, right? This is a team that consensus, at least top 4 in the Eastern Conference, right? At least top 4. Most likely, most people had them in the top 3, top 2. They were
tied for third two games ago, but now they've obviously probably dropped a little bit because of the last 2 losses.
And so without James Harden, you can throw it all up to them just not having enough. You insert James Harden, you get a goddamn W, and you get it by double digits tonight.
Right. You're not losing this game because you didn't have Tyrese Maxey. You have
exactly.
You have
better not.
You have the top 2 players, if not the 3 top players on the floor tonight. If you want to insert Tobias Harris in that conversation, so that's really all it is, man. It's want to, it's heart, it's hustle, and it's just playing your game and not getting sucked into that black hole offensively, not rebounding, not getting back on defense. Can I tell you something? I know we're talking about this team in a very negative light right now, and I don't really mean to because I do think that they win tonight, and I hope that it's in impressive fashion. But I'll say this:
to take it serious. Like that's the big thing here. We want the Sixers to take this game serious because it is a serious point in the season.
Because I'll say this: if they come out tonight and look flat, if they come out tonight and get beat back in transition and get beat on the glass and their shoulder shrugging. We need to have a very serious conversation about the stars on this team. Because why do I say that? Before all the injuries, the Sixers team was losing games. They were losing to inferior opponents. They were the worst transition defense team in the league. They got killed on the offensive glass. Those guys go out. The role players play hard, win games. The defense gets cleaned up. The offense gets cleaned up. Now, if these guys come back and they're lazy and get killed on the boards and get killed in transition points, we need to have a conversation about the leadership on this team on the floor. And I'm not joking. I do not want to see that tonight at all.
Yeah, and that's what we're getting at through the entire first part of this show is just take this serious tonight. James Harden coming back doesn't make this an automatic. It's not an automatic win with James Harden. It's not without him. There's no automatic wins in this league, and that's what I need the Sixers team to get their head around. You can't just show up and win ball games. All eyes, if the Eagles were not as good as they are, if the Phillies didn't just go out and sign the biggest free agent so far as position players, then literally all eyes would be on the Sixers right now, and they're close to 500 record. They're one game above 500.
And I love this point. Essentially, what is Abe saying, I think, and what I would take from this is take their heart early. Leave no doubt. Do not let an inferior opponent have any. You get into late in the third quarter, and this is a 5-point ball game, a 4-point ball game in their home. They're going to have confidence that they can beat you. Then shots from the outside that shouldn't fall are going to fall, and we're going to go through one of these annoying games against a bad team. Get him beat the ball early, let him control, take over, and then settle in late in the game.
We go through this way too much. Like you saying that, the way we felt this entire, like you said, it's just toxic, man. It's toxic because we're sitting here like against this 6-17 Houston Rockets team. We're like hammering the table, focus.
Toxic relationship, Scotty. It's like going back to that guy or girl. Man. They change their behavior for a month or so, and they reel you back in. Oh, they're changing.
We rebound. We play with energy.
They'll tell you it's going to be different this time. It won't be. I won't make that mistake again. And then guess what? They throw you right back out, and they do the same thing. Then they're going to reel you in another week or two. Then they're going to throw you right back out. It's so toxic. And it's an indictment. It's an indictment on the coach. It's an indictment on the culture. It's an indictment on Embiid. It's an indictment on everybody. And why am I saying this? I'm not saying this because I think this is going to happen. I need to see a statement from them tonight. We just talked about the Eagles 2 hours ago. They did what yesterday? Made a statement, imposed their will, put everyone on notice. You're not putting anyone on notice with a win in Houston on December 5th, but you'll let me know when you win by 18 tonight, 15 tonight, that you're taking this seriously and that you're getting healthy and things are turning it around.
Because at some point, this Sixers team has to put together a string of wins or we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, man.
League.
3 wins.
We got to win a couple in a row.
Followed by 2 losses, by 5 wins, by 2 losses. Doesn't help you climb the standings. It doesn't give me confidence. It don't do a whole lot of nothing, Scotty.
And look, man, the schedule is helping them out in a sense. I get from a resting standpoint, the schedule has been really favorable for them to start the season. I'm wondering if it's just going to get crazy later on because they play the Rockets tonight. Then they don't play again until Friday back home against the Lakers.
I've hated the layout of the schedule all year.
Yeah, it's been 4 days in between games, right? And then we haven't played since Friday.
Occasions.
But we haven't played since Friday. We're playing Monday, and then somewhere next week
we
we'll
have
have
one game within a week, 2 games within a week span.
That's odd, but nonetheless, this is the moment, right? This is where you got to put together a few wins. You got the Rockets. Lakers, mind you, have been playing a lot better. AD's been playing out of his goddamn mind. But still, get a W at home against the Lakers.
But Scotty, can I tell you the craziest thing, though?
Kings, I mean.
Can I tell you the craziest thing, though? Of all the back and forth, the inconsistent play this year, the injuries, they have a lot of good wins already, which tells you what? A decent amount of their losses are bad losses. They've taken 2 out of 3 on the year already from Atlanta. They beat the Bucks shorthanded. They beat the Nets without anybody. They have good wins already early on in the year, but they have a ton of bad losses so far.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I do agree. They've matched up well against Lakers ever since Toby put one over AD not too long ago. That's pretty. But all right, man, moving on.
They do match up well because Embiid can cancel out AD. That is the nice part of that.
By the way, though, Anthony Davis is playing otherworldly at the moment, which is something I wasn't sure that he could get back to. But all right, final 2 segments of the game before we get into predictions. Goal of the game. Going to kind of continue this conversation, Scotty, and basically what we're looking for, and Abe, feel free to chime in here. We're looking to remake The Other Guys, the movie, right? But we're looking for the other guys to step up tonight.
Yeah.
As we've talked about for the past 24 minutes, I don't need Joel to drop 40, as Abe said in the chat. I don't need James to come back and have to play 35 minutes tonight. I don't even know if they're allowing that, but whatever the case may be. I don't need an otherworldly performance from either of these guys. I need the others. And honestly, I know he's a max contract guy, but I would lump Tobias in it as the others tonight in a situation like this.
Yeah.
Tobias, Shake, Melton, the backup 5, whether it's B-Ball Paul and Montrezl Harrell. Just drawing a blank there for a second. I need those guys to step up tonight. And maybe Joel only has to play 29 minutes, right? Maybe Harden only has to play 27 minutes in his return.
That would be ideal. That would be ideal. Yeah, I'm with you there. Don't rely on Harden and Embiid to win this game. Obviously, they're going to have their due, right? They're going to get their touches. They're going to get their numbers. But it shouldn't, like we've talked about this entire show, require a 40-point burger to get past the Houston Rockets by 2. Like, it doesn't need to be that. No George Niang tonight, so obviously that takes a little bit of firepower away. Gives more opportunity for guys like Daniel House. You're returning back to your home in Houston. Let's show up tonight. Let's hit 3 threes if we're Daniel House, right? Be ready. That's all we're asking. DeAnthony Melton, your life gets easier. James Harden's back. He averages 10 assists. He opens up the offense. Hit your shots. Be ready. Tobias Harris, same thing. Be ready. That's all you're asked for now. You don't have to create for others at this point.
Nope.
Don't mind if you keep doing it when Harden's not around. That's fine. You can still facilitate, but we don't need you to do that anymore. We just need you to be ready for your role again. You can fall back. But that should be a good thing, a relief for them. Melton was playing out of his mind for a little bit. He started shooting the ball bad because it was too much. Same with Tobias Harris. If it becomes too much, he can start to get less efficient. He should be right back to their sweet spots now as far as their role, and they should have an even better grasp of it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm looking for the other guys tonight.
Very simple. The other guys, Scotty, what is our best bet of the night? This game was very tricky to pick out. We didn't want to give out a parlay. I don't want to hit the Sixers spread because I don't know what team shows up tonight, but it's hard to find. Before, you could rely on a Shake or Melton prop when they were the focal point in the offense.
That was nice.
Harden coming back and Embiid having a lot to do in the offense. I don't know which way to lean here tonight. Where are we going for our best bet?
So best bet of the night, we're going with something a little safer, if I do say so myself. We're going to go with the Embiid over 3.5 assists. I know James Harden's back. He averages 10 assists a game. But I think this part of Embiid is something that should remain consistent with him. We're only asking for over 3.5. So we're asking for 4 assists from Embiid tonight. He gets double, triple teamed so much. This is a young Rockets team. There's nobody that can match up one-on-one with him. You know they're going to bring double teams tonight. So he's going to have to get the ball out to his other guys. And then that points to our goal of the game as well. Other guys, be ready. Hit your shots when you're called upon. Embiid will find you. He's averaging over 5 assists per game this season. Last 7 games, I know they've been without Harden. That's a big caveat. Last 7 games, he's been up north of 6 assists per game. So he's distributing the ball. He's seeing the court better. It's something that we talked about earlier in the season when we watched Giannis and him go head-to-head in that first matchup with the Bucks. Giannis drives the lane. He's looking to facilitate, maybe find an open shooter. Embiid has started to incorporate that into his game as Harden, Maxey have been out. He needs to keep it that way. It doesn't change with Harden coming back. You still need to find other guys when you're getting
Harden back isn't a limitation on a part of your game.
Exactly.
It should only elevate every aspect of your game.
And that's minus 135. I don't think I threw that in there. Minus 135 Embiid over 3.5 assists.
It is a safe play, my man. Quality over quantity right now. That's what we're aiming to do on tonight. Just looking to get a win tonight. With that being said, I feel like I know where you're going. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Predictions for tonight.
Yes. So prediction for tonight, it's a Sixers win, and it's a Sixers handily win. Right. Yes, sir. Trey Turner. Yes. Hey, that's the celebration. The Sixers, you go out here, you lose. We're going to be pretty disappointed, but we can't go down after that. That is amazing. I texted you that during the Brazil game, and I was just like, you know what I mean? I couldn't process it. I just didn't know what to believe. It came through. Dude,
someone texted me like it's Trey time, and I'm like, nah, like you're messing. Like I just thought they meant like, oh, it's time to go sign Trey. Like let's do. I'm like, all right. So I immediately checked Twitter, and Twitter's already buzzing. Like 2 minutes ago, it was posted. I'm like, oh my god,
And bro, I swear, like the last few off seasons, the Stars have not signed this early. So that
Well,
like blew my mind
last
that
year
it
specifically
happened
got
so
effed
quick.
up because of the lockout, so everything got
Right.
pushed back. There's no communication until like the beginning of March. So that was a tough. Yeah, man. 11 years, 300
11
mil.
years.
Still, he might be here till he's 40. He's going to outlast Bryce Harper in Philadelphia, right? He'll be here post Bryce. But that AAV helps for years to come because it allows the Phillies to continue to build year to year. But anyway, man, what can the Sixers do to get our attention tonight, and will they win?
Yeah, I got the Sixers winning tonight, and I have them winning handedly. They're going to impress us tonight in the lowest fashion, right? It's just the Rockets, but you take care of business. You'll impress me tonight. I have the Sixers winning 121-107. Harden comes back, acts as a bit of a decoy. He will get his assists. I think he's going to facilitate and add that to the offense. I just think the scoring may not be there, and I don't think it will need to be, and that's a good thing. So that's what I'm going with prediction here. I have the Sixers winning 121-107. The offense really gets going tonight. And my player of the game, I'm going with Tobias Harris. You hit it on the other guys when we were talking about the goal of the game. Tobias Harris' life gets stupid easy now. That's what happened last year when James Harden came in. Maxey Harris, your life's get easier. That's what's going to happen with Harden returning tonight. All that attention that Tobias was getting, he should not get that at all. You saw a glimpse of it last game. He went like 6 for 6 from the 3-point line, or 5 for 5 or some shit.
Yeah.
Embiid being back, that's what happens. Now imagine what the looks you're going to get when Harden's out there with
maybe
Embiid.
some transition. Yeah.
No, exactly. Making life easy for Toby. And I want him to stay. I want him to stay engaged. That's the key there with him being player of the game. Be engaged, because if you're engaged, everything else is going to fall in your lap.
I like it, man. I really do. And I'm looking, the one thing I'm looking specifically for tonight is not to see how the offense even meshes, although I am looking for that, but also just how healthy does James look? How spry does he look? How's his condition? What's his physique look like after the month off? We know that can be an issue for him at times, not being on the floor. So looking for that tonight. All in all, I do think this is a big one for the Sixers. It needs to be right now, man. December 5th, I know it sounds crazy, but you do need a convincing win tonight. If there's been one thing that's kind of been steady, I know there's been some outliers throughout the year. Obviously, the Cleveland game, they put up some big points on the Sixers, shot incredibly well. But the Sixers defense overall, statistically, has been pretty good. And they hold teams right around 101, 102. They have a very good defensive rating.
It's a good,
I'm looking for like a 117, 118 Sixers, 103, 104 area for the Rockets tonight. Maybe even a tad bit lower. We'll see. But yeah, man, looking for an all-around, just impressive performance. Good old-fashioned load management night for Embiid.
Yeah.
Don't need him to play a ton in the fourth. I know we won't get that. It's what we need. It's what I'm looking for. So
been here too many times.
That being said, the other guys need to step up. That's the goal of the game. Joel Embiid assist at -130 tonight for our best bet. And a Sixers W, man. That is your script.
Hopefully, just don't wake up tomorrow and the Sixers be 500. And we're doing this whole like realization thing, like, oh, we have to try against these lesser teams. Like, I can't do that anymore. I'm so over it.
I'm so mentally fatigued.
It's toxic. Like you said, that toxic. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of it. Let's get a W. Let's get it by a lot.
Out of here. But all right, guys, don't forget to check us all out. All the content at DSM_media on Twitter. Hit that follow button. The link tree is in our bio to take you to every platform that we're on: Facebook, IG, TikTok. Scotty does some great work on the TikTok page. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on notifications. Like this video. It's the only place DSM pregame live streams Sixers, Phillies, and Eagles game days. So don't forget, join the conversation. The YouTube channel is the best place to do so on every show. Check out our great sponsors over at Jets Barber Lounge and Lux City Jewelers. Check them out at gentsbarberlounge.com to book your appointment in Old City or Fishtown today. Check our friends at Luxon out at shopluxon.com. You can use promo code DSM for 25% off this holiday season. For myself, for Scotty, for DSM, have a great rest of your night, and go Sixers.
Go Sixers.